Oh man, it's showtime. Let's take this
Look
off of
who's
this.
back. Oh my God, look at you. Hi,
What's up, everyone? How are you?
yeah, Ed, you disappeared from the face of the earth for a little bit.
Listen, you know what? I'm gonna own up to it and say yes, I did.
Yeah,
You're damn
it's
right, I did.
good. Yeah,
I
where did you go?
literally,
Where were you?
I was in Colombia.
Colombia.
So for those of you that don't know or don't follow me on Instagram, you can always check me out. My name is there on Instagram at NYC Homes with Ed. I actually created a little, I guess a little what is that called? Like on Instagram where you
A real? A
not a
real?
real no, you create like those little columns or those little
Oh,
I
those
guess
little tabs on your account.
tabs. Yeah,
We
those
can
things.
go into those little tiles. You click on it, and we go
Correct.
into your
And you'll
trip.
see
Oh,
everything that we experienced
oh,
doing
I
it. I actually have
see.
to add some videos to
Colombia.
that. I have posts, I have reels. I think we filmed the most interesting man in the world out there.
We see him from even getting off the taxi going into the airport. Look at
Yes,
this. Look at
my entire trip is there.
yeah.
So I was gone. I was in Colombia, traveled. If you're asking, no, I'm not Colombian. I'm actually Ecuadorian. I was traveling there for the first time. Beautiful country. Went to Medellin. We went to Salento. We went to um,
I see a lot of partying and
Guatate.
food in there and donkeys.
Well, that was the first trip. Oh, I rode a horse on the side of a mountain. I
Okay.
climbed a rock that was like 800 steps.
Oh yeah, I see this village. It looks like you guys are going down. Like people are careful walking. Okay, it's
Oh my God,
pretty
that was scary.
pretty steep, man.
Yeah, we went to Bogota.
Dancing. Wow.
We went to the hot springs. Yo,
Oh, nice.
crazy, man! What an experience. We finished off in Bogota, and we went to um, I forgot what it was called, but it's a church on the side of a cliff. The only way to get to it
It's to
is either
climb
by
up.
you can either do like a trail,
Yeah.
or you can take a train cart, or like one of those cable carts, the ones that you have
Oh,
from
wow.
Roosevelt Island to Manhattan.
Yeah.
Like a time lapse video of that. So all of that stuff I gotta post. I'm just super lazy on Instagram.
No, but it's no, it's nice. Like you can see a little bit of the videos and stuff,
Yeah,
and some of the food and the good time you had with your family, your friends.
it was good.
Interesting. I mean, the weather looked beautiful out there.
Yo, I didn't even realize it, but the weather is almost perfect weather. They call it. It's like spring all the time. It's hot enough during the day and it's nice and fresh and cool at night.
Wow, good. So that's why we were missing Ed. All right, so now we're back to the grind, back to the cold. Did you miss that?
Yes.
You missed that storm by a minute, right? On
I actually, yo, it was interesting. I saw the flight go from on time to delayed for like 5 minutes, and then it went back to on time when we were coming back on Tuesday night. So we
yeah.
flew in late. We flew in around 8:30. Got here around 11. So we
Okay.
did. We missed the storm. Thank God.
Yeah. Did you get any jet lag?
Honestly, I've been feeling a little sluggish because even though since we got back, we had a final walkthrough and a closing the very next day. So I was in
Yeah.
bed at like 2 o'clock in the morning to then wake up to do all that first thing in the morning. I was done. Like I'm still tired. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Okay.
I slept, but I'm still tired, and my mom's here, so
Um,
whatever.
let's
Enough
make
of
it quick.
enough about me. Let's talk about you guys.
Good. So I we did this very nice training in one of our offices about title, importance of getting title insurance and some of the title issues. And I figured it would be a good time, probably good topic to discuss with our online viewers, as around, especially with agents, newer agents, seasoned agents. I'd love to hear about your experiences if you have any, and also some of our viewers from overseas that may not even know what is title insurance because they don't have that in some countries, and why we need to have it, and some of the issues that could arise from that. I am not an attorney. We will not give any, this is a big disclaimer, not an attorney. I'm a law school dropout, so that doesn't count.
Oh,
And we're not going to give any legal advice. We're just going to just give you a couple of examples, and we're going to recommend you guys to really associate with the right real estate attorney that's going to work with you, right? So before we even disclose any title issue, I wanted to sort of, I'm going to say it nicely. You know, we sort of we put the deals together. We get the buyers, the seller, we do the showing, we do a lot of the preliminary work. And then in the end, um, we go to closings. A lot of the time, we're not even allowed to sit at the closing table.
oh, I made my own seat yesterday.
Exactly. So we have to force ourselves into those closing tables and say, here, I'm here to represent my client. We get a lot of disrespect, you know, like Roger Dangerfield, you know, get disrespect.
Oh yeah, yo, you're taking it back, Gigi. Was it Rodney Dangerfield?
Rodney Dangerfield, yes, yes,
Rodney
yes. Yeah,
Dangerfield.
yeah, yeah. So I feel like a lot of the times we don't get enough props for all the work we do. You know, it's like you have all these attorneys that are divas, and we're like, we're the basement baby. You know, it's like, sit in the corner. Only don't even open your mouth. You just go get your check. And it's like, what? We've been like advising like clients all those months, going through the up and down emotional and stuff, and offers not being accepted, lowballing, trying to educate them. And then, you know, so I'm like, okay.
I think the you know how we have to go for extended training, right? Like every 2 years we have to
Oh,
go
the
for
education,
continued
continuing education.
education.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I think continued education should be paid for by the brokerage. I feel I feel that you should get a master's degree in psychology. I feel that by the time you're done with these transactions, you've worn so many hats. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the good thing is that, again, if this is happening to you, I'm sorry. The other reason why it might be happening to you is because you might actually not have any idea of what's going on or what to partake in.
Right.
um I'd feel bad for whoever would try to treat me that way at a closing, and thankfully no
I
one.
mean,
It almost went that way, but I kind of had to set them straight
you've
and
seen
then
it.
show
I,
some
I don't want
respect.
to name I don't want to name a co-op closing attorney, but they're like, brokers, you have to wait in the reception area. You're not
Oh,
allowed in. So, and then the receptionist is like the gatekeeper, you know, she looks like the ups, you know, the downward smile. So she always looks like like this. She's like amazing,
you know
amazing
what I
personality.
when when I see that, you know what they remind me of? Monsters Inc. You remember that
Yes.
the one that always needed to collect the file from Mike Wazowski?
Oh yes,
And she's
yes.
like,
The
I'm
admin lady.
watching you, Mike Wazowski.
All right, so let's get into this. Let's go into some of those title issues. So, moral of the story is, guys, find affiliates, vendors, attorneys that are going to be working with
With
you.
you.
You know, make sure that, same thing. If you're going to get a lot of disrespect from an attorney just because you're just a real estate agent, come on. I mean,
Disrespect them back.
no, no, I wouldn't
Oh
advise
no,
that.
that wasn't the
No,
all
no,
right.
that's not the
No,
thing.
I'm
But
kidding. That
it's
was a
not
joke.
maybe the right association. You want somebody, because ultimately those guys don't go and get their deals themselves. We bring them the deals. Come on,
You bring them.
huh?
You
We
bring
do,
them.
right?
Exactly.
We
So create that atmosphere, because I can't tell you how many times this has actually occurred. The closing that I was at last, I actually thankfully was on both sides of the deal, but the
right.
buyer didn't adhere to my advice as far as the attorney was concerned. And
Yeah,
when he got to the closing table, he laughed and he told me, he said, Ed, I should have worked with the attorney you recommended, because not once did I hear from this attorney But this is actually the first time I'm meeting this attorney. So he was meeting the attorney at the closing table. That's more common nowadays than it was back then.
Yeah,
But as far as communication goes, like if it's an attorney that you're working with, that's gonna work out. Well, and then how they're also gonna be connected to the title insurance company, right?
right. Some yes, yes. By the way, okay. So let's recommend that title insurance is actually mandatory when you have a mortgage, not mandatory when you're buying all cash. But I would strongly recommend, and I think any attorney would strongly recommend, or actually I refuse to work with you if you don't want to secure title insurance when you purchase cash, because it's going to protect you from a lot of issues that may arise post closing, and we'll
Mm-hmm.
discuss those. Okay. Um, Also, a lot of us don't. We recommend attorneys, but how many when you're closing on the residential? Do you know which title companies is being used by the buyer attorney?
Nope.
No. Do you even look at the? Do you have a look at the title report?
Nope. Do you, the only reason, and I'll tell you guys myself, the only reason why I ever even came across title reports and title issues was because Priscilla used to work in title for a title insurance company
Exactly. Yeah.
prior to going into real estate full time.
Oh, we should have had
So
Priscilla online because she would know. She would know
she
everything about those
she
things.
would. Damn, why didn't we
I
think
know.
of
Call
that?
her. She's
Oh
around, right?
no, she's actually with my mom right now. My mom's in
Okay, good.
town.
Good, good, good.
They're
So
getting
let's
their
go
hair
with
did.
I know. So just affiliate yourself with people that are going to collaborate with you, that is gonna actually help you close the deal. And a lot of the times it's also on you to do a little bit of your research, especially on for co-ops it's a little bit of a different story because it's a UCC search, it's not a universal commercial code search, it's a title search per se, but you don't own property title when you own the co-op. We're not going to go over that again. So but on the
Mhm.
residential and commercial sales, actual real property, you should be able to do a little bit of due diligence, preliminary research, dig a little bit more. I mean, we have access to public record, and look for potential issues. Even when you
Yes,
get a listing or when you actually get an offer, don't rely on the listing agent or on the buyer's agent for anything for that matter. Do your work. That's my advice, right?
hundred
So
percent.
let's go with title issues that could delay your closing or sometimes worth it just go the deal could flop, so all those months of hard work showing
Wait a minute, Gigi. Hold up. You mean to tell me deals could fall apart at the closing table or right before
before the
closing?
closing, yeah, just because basically a of unmarketable title where so many issues that cannot be resolved, or there is a break in that chain of title. They cannot I mean, this would be the worst case where you cannot actually verify all the different, the chain of ownerships. Something breaks, and then one person is there. It's like, who the hell are you? You claim you're the owner. There's no way of verifying it. I've had that several years ago where it just nothing could be done.
Jeez.
It's a long case. I don't want to discuss it because you do have a lot of the stuff. I mean, a lot of things could happen. But let's go over some of the main one. We could go talk about 10, 12 different issues that could arise.
Mm.
We boiled it down to 6 or 7 because some of them are redundant. We're going to try not to give too much technical wording, but we will have to encounter them. So, guys, if you were real estate agents, go back to your real estate licenses licensing class for those words, and if we need to, we'll explain them. All right, you good? Let's
Let's
go.
do it.
All right, a lot of the times you have errors in the public records, errors in the way things went filed or not filed from the previous closing, you know
Yes.
um or stupid stuff, even like in, when you get your deed and you get like the property description on the schedule A, there
Yes.
could be errors in the description. Person who
Correct.
wrote that, whatever it's called, the title, I don't remember what they call, but anyway, they have a profession
Just
title for that, where it's erroneous, where you have mistakes or it's inaccurate and stuff like that.
Mm.
And so that person, the person who's selling you the house closed with a whole bunch of errors in the recording, or things were not recorded properly, or the old mortgage was not recorded properly, and it still shows open, right? So a
Correct.
whole bunch of those stuff could delay things, and even delay your closing, because you want, some title companies won't close until everything is perfect. Some would say, you know what, we know we have a couple of issues and we can close with a little bit of an escrow if it's minor things.
If it's minor things, correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to decide on which ones are minor, because again, I'm not an attorney, and
Mm.
I don't want to, and every case is different, right?
Yeah.
And what else? Let me go back into, so I use several articles.
I
Yeah, they talk
mean,
about clerical errors after the deed or survey, and even error on survey, and we'll talk about that because that's another major one as well.
correct errors.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So I
Uh,
mean,
yes, go ahead.
so to jump in, I mean, we might as well break down the errors because it's kind of a part of that. Would it not be? Or
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about all the errors that could be found on public record, and lack of filing and all this. I mean, if something get misfiled at the
yeah,
register's office, or I'm not going to go through the list, but it could
yeah,
be
definitely not.
there. And
That's a big
sometimes
list.
we could even do our due diligence, go into acris and look at the recorded documents for the last transaction on that property, and we're not expediters, we don't own a title company, we can have access to the public record, but like digging and finding out stuff sometimes is beyond our scope of what we have on access to the public, right?
Correct.
So again, that's why we're paying for that title insurance on the property, and title insurance on the mortgage, which protects us from post-closing issues and help us with identifying pre-closing issues as well. All right. Unknown liens or current violations, or at worst bankruptcies, and stuff like that. This could delay
Closing.
your closing. I was just giving you the example earlier, Ed. Like if you're gonna have like a multi-family house, you're gonna go and do your due diligence on the listing, and you're seeing there is a couple of violations on Geodata or Atom or Property Shark,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, okay, so there's like old violation of a permit that wasn't closed, let's make sure we take care of this. There is a sidewalk lien, let's make sure we deal with it right away. And then if you don't dig further, you may have HPD violations that
Correct.
you may not have seen. I know I closed on we closed on a three family house that had 17 HPD
Jeez.
violations that didn't show up like right away on my preliminary research. And then came to find out, I went into HPD just for the hell of it, as we were going to get close to having a accepted offer. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, holy crap, we had violation of the kazoo. This owner was an absentee owner and wanted to get rid of that three family house, because the managing a property when you live in another state is tough, right? So we had violations such as old mattress improperly discarded, mice infection in the backyard, neighbors would make
Oof.
complaints and stuff like that. There
Oh
was
my
like
God.
over $3,000 in violation.
And
uh,
here we thought a sidewalk lien was a big deal.
no. It's just a sidewalk lien is a pain in the butt. You just need to
Yeah,
do
it's
it. Might
annoying.
take a little bit of time. But I
Yep.
guess, if you see it at the end, once you get the title report, unfortunately, I mean, we should be able to see it when we do our due diligence,
We should.
right before when we get the listing agents. Yeah, make sure you dig a little bit and make sure you see the sidewalk violations, so you can start the process on curing those,
There we
hiring a contractor that is licensed with the city, and getting that permit, to do the work and so on and so forth. Even if the inspection is not ready to be done when you close, at least everything is in the works. Anyway, oh, number three. So I
Hmm.
didn't even think this could even exist, forgeries and illegal deeds.
I think that exists more when it comes to short sales.
Yeah, I mean, and again, also on a lot of, I don't want to say like I've seen a lot of illegal stuff happened in, um, and I'm gonna hate to say this. I've had experiences where you've had those unscrupulous reverse mortgage companies that are forging the deed, claiming that it would be a deed transfer from the, like when you have mother daughters owning the property, and
Uh
then
huh.
all of a sudden the daughter relinquishes her right to the property and gives everything back to the mother, and so the mother can get the reverse mortgage. But unfortunately, the daughter was not even aware that she had lost the her right to the property because somebody forged her name and did the deed transfer. I've seen it.
Wow.
I even confronted some mortgage companies because of that. There used to be a lot of those unscrupulous companies that would really, like, really do wrong to older and people that easily led into believing, like, because they're tight on money, so here reverse mortgage is the solution, so they would let them do anything, unfortunately. you know
That's terrible.
Forgery, yeah, that's part of the forgery. That's completely illegal, but it's been done, and you still have attorneys that are dealing with this type of things, unfortunately. Illegal deeds as well. Let's say, if a deed transfer was done and given to a minor or somebody who is not what's called unsound of mind,
Hmm.
not all there. They could. I don't want to. I'm not a psychiatrist. I cannot. I don't want to disclose what kind of unsound of mind is, or even like illegal deeds on, I don't know, it could be different situation where somebody is claiming to be single, and then indeed they're married in common law marriages, could bring a whole bunch of different issues, right? What else, Ed? What else do we have? Oh, missing heirs. Oh my
Here we
god.
go.
That could be. What if like this is always something, you sell the house, and for some reason it should have gone through probate, so they should have found all the heirs, but let's say this falls through the crack, and then you have a cousin that just pops up, like you sell a property, and then one
You
of
forgot about me.
the that was overseas pops up years later, and they're like, you forgot about me.
Uh
And
oh.
that could be an issue. That could be an
100%.
issue after you close, and that's why you have the title insurance, or could be an issue before you close, and we found out there is this person that is an heir, and we still need to find them, or there is an undiscovered will. All of a sudden, the property was supposed to be given to somebody else, and you're selling it, and it's like, oh, we may have a problem here. So same thing, like you want to make sure, and those are extreme cases. This happens, but not
Yeah, I was gonna say because
every
that's
day. But it could be there. It could happen. And in the state of New York, thank God we have this whole probate process, which takes a long time,
yeah.
but that will alleviate some of those potential problems. You know,
Unfortunately, one of my clients went through that. They ended up signing contracts, and literally a week after he signed contracts, he passes away.
ooh,
And then it's like we went into contract, he passes away, and then it's like great. So it's like now they have to go through the probate process. So the
yeah,
family has to start it. There's families scattered throughout the U.S.
and you have to find them. Yeah, 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 yeah,
and now they have to find them too. So it's
yeah.
you know it's a process. They told me it could take roughly about 9 months if everything is like a
9 months
smooth,
to a year. Yeah.
yeah, smooth process. But if you have people fighting things back, then yeah, that's gonna be a problem.
But if I was this buyer, I would want to keep that contract alive, because guess what? Most likely the price of this property
Keep going up.
is gonna keep going up. So by the time you close, it's gonna be you're gonna close on a good deal,
Yeah,
and
I
your
would think.
rates are gonna be lower. So
I
why
would think.
not? Just keep
Yeah.
that contract alive and then reapply for a mortgage later. And again, advice, get an advice from your attorney to just go through the process, because we cannot advise you guys. Oh, then you have, this is something that happens maybe in,
So funny you mentioned that
yeah,
because we actually have kind of I would say an encroachment over a property. Well, I mean they have it over
property
us
line,
because
right? Is that a
yeah.
is that a big issue from the neighbor where the property line goes over the property of the seller?
So I mean in this case it's almost like it was agreed upon with a spit and a handshake
Yeah.
back in the days. So the property that we actually own in Connecticut works somewhat this way. In order for us to get to our third lot where we would dock from, we have to cross over into someone else's property.
Oh no, that's an easement. That's a different issue. We're gonna
But
go through.
wouldn't they have the encroachment on us though? Wouldn't that be like
No, that's going to be a rite of passage. That's a whole different. Sorry, I don't want to. If
damn?
I'm not, I have the same issue on my property in the south of France, a different country. So I have it's not even boundary issues, and encroachment would be where your neighbors, let's say, put up a fence,
Mm.
let's say 3 feet into your property. So basically, their property is 3 feet bigger than what it's supposed to be, and your property is 3 feet less. So 3 feet is already substantial. In the city, like, we have a lot of encroachment, like for property line where they put the fence, but it's like, like half a foot and so on and so forth. There could be some letters where, it's like the neighbor, you don't have to change anything, where the neighbor could sign off this letter saying, I'm aware we're encroaching a little bit on this property, and it's been like this for 40 years and we didn't have any issues, but we're aware that we are into our neighbor's property line, so we're not trying to basically take over that property, you know
But
and
okay, so now I've heard that if that occurs for over 10, is it more than 10 years that now becomes a part of that property?
no, I don't think so. I don't know if this is accurate,
No?
because is it part of the adverse possession? I don't know, because it's again, if it's within this, and then it's not like, I don't know, depending case by case, I wouldn't make an assumption on this.
No, I mean I'm not saying that that's what how do I put it? You know how like sometimes these things go like they fall into place only because it's been for a long period of time.
Yeah,
It's
you're
almost
talking
like
about
one
the
of
little
those
case of adverse
like if
possession. Yeah, but
yeah, like if nobody realized it that it occurred and it's been like that and then you know what I mean, you sell the property 15 years later and that's how it was.
yeah, but in the case of adverse possession, it just doesn't. It's not going to be oh, it's been more 10 years, and this is it. The law says that, and we're going to sign off on this. On stuff like that, usually it has to go to court when it's major and
Mm.
things, and when the judge has to decide. And it's not, again, we cannot make any assumption of anything. Or boundary issues, like sometimes a survey was not drawn up right, and you're closing on that thing, and then now you're having a new survey and they don't match the old survey, and you just need to, that, those are little issues that could be, I guess, it could be cured or not,
Yeah.
unless it's major encroachment, like it's 4 5 feet 10 feet, like, on the large properties. That could be a definite problem, especially if the other party that is encroaching on your property
Mm.
is not willing to do anything about it. But again, we're just talking about the major issues that would happen. Unknown easement, like utility easement, like the property we have in the south of France. The whole one side of the property is actually an easement of a pipeline that
Wow.
crosses over through, Europe, back into, and I guess it's gonna go back into Ukraine or something like that. So it just goes, those huge pipelines. So if anything happened, the utility companies just could go and dig a hole and replace those enormous pieces of pipeline at any
Whenever they see
time.
fit.
It hasn't happened, you know, and we also have a right of passage and easement for the neighbor, because
Mm.
it's like we're right by we sort of subdivided the land we had like half of the hill, and we divide it up, over the years to sell it to various people. And there is a lot right behind us, so those people have to go through our land, so they like a driveway, and then they can access to their. We go have two properties like that, and it's our driveway, but they're using it to access their property. But it's
Yeah.
known. It's not unknown. It's clearly disclosed, right?
So see, it's clearly disclosed in that case. In this
Right.
case, it's not clearly disclosed. It's just kind of like that's what it was, and that was the way of the
Yeah.
world before we even showed up. But
Right. 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 And then you could have encumbrances, um, which are, let's define it in the law. It's other things. An encumbrance could also be a mortgage, an extra mortgage on this. It could be on the property. It could be a claim against that property that could, what, an encumbrance could be I'm going to go to the extreme. It could be an old Native American burial ground that is unknown, like
sacred.
you have this property, and all of a sudden, like through oral history, it comes out that, like you dig into your yard, you want to plant like a big tree, and then you have some bones, and now, oops, it was a burial ground. That could be a major encumbrance.
Ooh.
Right. But this is totally extreme, right?
I mean, I
Yeah.
guess.
And that's it. I think those are the major things you could go through. We don't want to go and just blow your head up
Yeah.
on all those different type of problems, but they're there, and I think you should, as an agent, you should be more involved with the buyer's attorney when you work with them, and if, for the sake of your clients, and do your own diligence prior to going to contract. And if you see anything that is not correct, you could probably, I don't know, you could potentially spend even, as a, not even as a buyer, but let's say as a listing agent, sometimes some issues show up in your due diligence, and it doesn't hurt to spend $300-400 to do a preliminary title search to
Yeah.
cover some defects. you know just like it
No,
is
true.
with a problematic property where you're going to need an inspection prior to putting the unit on the market. So same here. Let's do it. Costs a little bit of money up front, but it could save you headaches, and it could make you really like the hero of the day by, with the client, with the attorney, and really anchor you into, the profession as an expert, and getting your reputation as someone who actually digs and do as much as possible for the client.
Yeah. Once again, this is all adding value to then show to your clients.
That's all it is, really.
So if you
All it
ask,
is.
how do I add more value? There you go. And I hope you're paying attention. I know title talking is the sexiest subject in real estate, but
Oh, it is so sexy.
I gotta get Priscilla on to talk about title.
Yeah. Actually, what did she do? She was doing the title process, right? It
She
would
was
be
involved in the
actually,
process.
yeah, we should
Yeah,
actually have her. I know she doesn't want to be, and she's so pretty. She should go on the screen. We would
I
want
I
to
think
hear
so too.
all
I
the.
think so
I'm
too.
sure you do, and it would be better if you do. Yeah.
You get
And
more viewers with her on instead of me.
maybe, I mean, yeah, 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 could be. Anyway, so we haven't had any comments. The subject was so sexy that
They know everything about
nobody
title.
wanted to move
They
forward
know
with it.
everything about title, Gigi. That's why.
I know, but you know what? Sometimes we have to talk about the stuff that are not fun or sexy. Sometimes it's
I
not
agree
about
with you. I
TikTok
agree
dance
with you. So next week's episode is gonna be a how to dance on TikTok about real
and
estate.
make money about it. Yeah, with it, yeah, sure. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. But you know what? I want to tell you one thing which I did over the last couple of weeks. I did a couple of blogs with Chat GPT
nice.
for my website. Amazing. It took me a whole 2 minutes to put the thing
A
together.
whole 2 minutes.
Yes,
Talk
because I
about
had to make
saving
sure
time.
I had to read the stuff that it made sense, and I had to add a photo and so on and so forth. And
Did it sound like you? Did it sound like something you would say?
absolutely not.
Wow, that sounds like a script, doesn't it? Right?
No, it sounds like a generic article, but like sometimes you want to put some.
You want to fluff it
Um,
up.
yeah, I could go back on it. It
You
was
don't
like
want
maybe lazy, but
let, let me not. I was gonna say something, but you don't
yeah.
want to be so New York direct, right? You want to be a little more like, a little more southernish.
Okay, okay. I don't know what that means, but okay. I'm French,
All
so I
right.
don't know what Southern-ish
So
means.
I was
Sorry.
I was gonna say you don't want to be so French, so direct. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I know. I know.
But I decided
So,
to go
like
different. Whatever.
French. So being French means direct, and then on top of it, you're gonna complain about something. So it's like that's the
Yeah.
worst you can get.
They poke you in the eye and then they squirt lime in your eye. Got it.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think we have enough of title issues. This is a good half hour. You
That's
can
it.
replay this. We actually bullet pointed the thing so you can go back to it and look at it. And again, we can find us on YouTube. I just realized I did not put the Instagram live on this because there is a key code that you have to enter, and I didn't do it. But hey, it's okay.
Wow.
Happens. I know.
We're advancing.
Why be simple when you can be complicated, right? So
I know. I'd so rather be complicated.
I know. All right,
Anywho,
so
folks.
go into Ed's Instagram and just troll him a little bit on his adventure in Colombia. But
Yeah,
I
check it out. It was
yeah,
it
and we
was
want to. And I heard you told me now you are an expert in salsa dancing. I want to see that.
oh, I didn't say all that. I said I learned. I
Yeah, no,
learned.
I want
Wow,
to see
okay.
next live. I want to see an actual example of your salsa dancing
If you want
because
to see it, go click on
next
my
week.
tabs. Click on my tab adventure on my Instagram profile in Colombia. You'll see a little glimpse of my skills. You see that?
Okay.
Look, you can't see my
Yeah,
hips, but look.
you can see your head, the bobbing. All right, guys. Thank
All
you so
right.
much for tuning in.
Take care,
Talk
everybody.
to you
Have a
next
great
week.
weekend. Enjoy.
Yeah, open houses. Don't miss those. I know it's going to be a little bit chilly, but let's do it. Let's keep doing it. Keep grinding.
Maybe they'll have a little bit of hot cocoa.
I know. I know. Anyway, talk to you
Take care,
guys. Talk
everybody.
to you soon. Thanks.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Peace.